It's trivia day. You already know. Welcome to the Niners Roundtable. I'm Grant Cohn, joined by Jack Hammer, Niner Nick Newman, and the trivia master, Maverick Pallack. Happy to be here. Thanks for coming, guys. Trivia will happen in about a half an hour, but as always, we got some Niner topics to start with. And I want to start with the offensive line because we can always get to the quarterback stuff later. So I think we all agree that the Niners offensive line needs something. What do you think it needs above all else? What is the most important thing that needs to be infused into this group in 2021? Who wants to start?
I can go ahead and start us off.
Okay. All right.
I think the thing they need the most is they need to get their center position figured out. They really got to solidify that, because that's going to solidify the rest of the interior of the offensive line. It's one thing if your tackles are constantly having to try to, they're not fast enough, so they're constantly having to run, fast edge rushers and try to push them outside and around the quarterback. But if you're going to do that, you've got to be able to have a solid core in the middle that the quarterback can step up into and not feel like he's going to get hit in the mouth every time he does it. So that's the primary area that I see they needed to go. Plus, you got that guy's the quarterback of the offensive line, and they've really got to find that. Ever since Richburg went down, they've had some issues there. So that's the direction I think they need to solidify first.
I think the 49ers need a couple things. One, they need that leader. With the Joe Staley loss, they obviously were missing that last year. It was confusing who the leader on the line was. Trent Williams took over, but he's once again a free agent. So they either need Trent Williams back or they need to go get Alex Mack. And then I also think they need a first-round rookie. I think they must draft offensive lineman in the first 2 rounds, or one of the first 2 rounds. And I think if they can trade back and get one of those guys, Jalen Mayfield, Bear Tucker, or Darisaw, that'd be a good pick in my opinion.
Wow, you guys nailed everything. There hasn't really been any continuity at the center position. That's something that the 49ers need to address. And Jack, talking about how the center position's the quarterback of the offensive line, they need a leader to step in, someone that can help facilitate pre-snap protections and make adjustments at the line of scrimmage. And Trent Williams, if he leaves in free agency, that's going to be a huge void at left tackle. A lot of people are assuming that Williams is just going to come back. I don't think it's as simple as that, because he seems to me like the type of guy that's going to be hearing out whatever team offers him the most money. And even if Williams does come back, he gives off an impression that he's very individualistic in the sense he cares more about his own personal play opposed to the play of the entire offensive line. They need someone to come in that can play at a high level and hold his fellow offensive linemen accountable to play at a high level.
I'm glad you said that, Nick, because I think that's my answer. I mean, I know it's my answer. I think it's the right answer. Sure, they need a center, and they need more talent. They need Mike Mckenzie to gain about 20 pounds, but what they ultimately need is a leader in this group. It was Joe Staley, and say what you want about Trent Williams. He's a better player than Joe Staley, no question. He's not a leader. I don't think he ever has been, which I think is partially one of the reasons he's never been on a winning team. But he's a great player. McGlinchey's not a leader, not a good player either. They need to bring in someone who can hold everyone accountable. And what is leadership? Holding people accountable, getting up in their ass like a coach is supposed to. Like, I'm sure Mike McGlinchey got that treatment at Notre Dame. I don't think he was getting it from John Benton. I don't know if Chris Forrester has it in him. I think that was Joe Staley. And now it's got to be someone else. And the thing that's interesting, you guys are all mentioned the center position. Well, I think Alex Mack could serve that function as the leader. He's been around forever. He's extremely accomplished. People respect him. I think he could come onto the team and fill that role in ways that Trent Williams won't. What do you guys think?
100%.
I'm with that.
Alex Mack.
The Alex Mack signing, what it would remind me of if that signing were to go through and the 49ers signed Alex Mack is when the team signed Jonathan Goodwin years ago, and he just kind of fit right in on that offensive line and held it down for 3 years under Jim Harbaugh. So I think bringing in a veteran presence at the center position, someone that you can depend on to stay healthy and has played in a big stage. Alex Mack played in the Super Bowl with Kyle Shanahan. So that's definitely something that the 49ers need to look into.
Yeah, all right, that's a great call.
Oh, good call. I think he's perfect, right? I think it's a perfect fit for on the field in terms of what they need in the locker room, all of it.
Well, I like the Goodwin. I like throwing it back to Jonathan Goodwin from back in 2011 because that was a huge signing. They kind of went under the radar. Nobody really paid attention to that move, and he really solidified that group.
No question. Yes. Let's jump to the news of the hour. Was it the Eagles? What team was Deshaun Jackson on? The Eagles.
The Eagles.
They cut him. All right. Was he 35? He still can run, though. I mean, if Ted Ginn's still in the league, he might still be in the league. What do you guys think? Should the Niners sign Deshaun Jackson? At what point should they be interested in this dude?
I'm going to say no. I don't think they should be interested in Deshaun Jackson because, for one, the quarterback that they are supposedly committing to in 2021, Jimmy Garoppolo, doesn't excel throwing the ball downfield, and that is what Deshaun Jackson is best at. Even if they do get a quarterback that can throw the ball downfield, whether they trade for Deshaun Watson or pick someone up in the draft, I don't think Jackson's a very good fit. He doesn't strike me as a guy that's going to sign at a veteran minimum deal, so you're going to have to pay him more money. I'd be more interested in signing a young deep threat like John Ross, a guy who you can possibly sign a 1-year prove-it deal to, or 4 rather. So I'm going to take a hard pass on Deshaun Jackson.
I don't know why you would want Deshaun Jackson, just in the sense of if he made $6.2 million this year, if he's making, let's say, half that, even 3.2, that's a lot. How many games has he played in the last 2 seasons? 8 total. 8. Yeah, 8 total. And then the 2 years before, 12, 14, 15, 9, 15. You have to go all the way back to 2013 for the last time he played 16 games. And yes, he's a very fast receiver. He's one of the fastest. If you let him punt return, when he does do that, he does make guys miss. But like Nick said, how many times is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be able to hit him? If they get Deshaun Watson, or if they get Jameis Winston, then yeah, there's a guy that can throw deep. But I just don't think Deshaun Watson fits with what the Niners are doing. You asked, was there a time that Deshaun Jackson would fit? 2013, 2014 would have been a good time to sign Deshaun Jackson, but that didn't work out. And now it's just reminiscing on that time.
Yeah, this is a hard one because Jackson, even, he's the health thing is a big deal with him. He's still putting up big yards per catch, though. But the main thing with him is as Mav and Nick both said, it's the injury side of it. Only playing 8 games in the last 2 years, and for $3 million, that's even if they were able to bring him in for that amount, I think it's a little too high. They could probably get similar production out of a guy like Travis Benjamin, or maybe bringing in somebody else off the street than for less money than what they'd be getting for Jackson.
Yeah, you guys laid it out. I mean, just the injury issue alone, 8 games the last 2 years, and it's worse than that. I mean, in his entire career, he's played 16 games twice, and not since 2013. And the only thing I was thinking is, well, maybe if he's willing to sign like a 1-year, $3 million deal to come back to the Bay Area because he went to Cal, he made it totally worth the Niners' while. He might be a good punt returner, because I remember him being a great punt returner at Cal. It's just that a lot of time has passed since then, and I'm looking on Pro Football Reference, and it's saying that his longest punt return since 2013 was 11 yards. So yeah, no, I'm good. No thanks.
If I recall correctly, also, I think how he got hurt this year was on a punt return. I might be wrong, but I remember him getting hurt on a punt return on a bad hit. So is he even wanting to do that?
I think Deshaun Jackson is one of the things that got Doug Peterson fired the last 2 years. I mean, they needed to bring in weapons for this offense, and his solution was Deshaun Jackson. And the guy was just hurt the whole time, and they had no wide receivers the last 2 years. So, no. All right, let's go to Jimmy, because we haven't talked about him in a while. If the Niners keep Jimmy, and it's looking like they certainly might for this upcoming season, do you think they will restructure / extend his deal? The logic here being that he's really way too expensive, and to make him more affordable, extend the deal, give him a signing bonus, drop the salary number, and keep more free agents. Do you think they will do that if they keep him?
I think they need to do that if they're going to keep him. I think, at his salary number right now, it makes things really hard throughout the rest of the roster to really be able to fill that in. So I think they're going to have to, do something where maybe they add a year to it, a little bit of money to get him to agree, so that they can bring that number down. Because with the way that his contract's structured, they have so much of a salary that they can work on to reduce that number. So I wouldn't want to see them do that, reduce their cap by just pushing everything to next season, because then they get a big cap hit. I'd rather see them push it out to 2023 as well.
I could totally see Jimmy being interested in a restructure. Maybe you should just go to Nick for a second.
All right, Nick, go ahead. Take it over. Take it away.
Yeah. Well, if they keep Garoppolo, they most definitely need to look into restructuring his deal. I'm sure that's something that they're already contemplating, but they need to keep the same perks. Like if they hold on to him for this season and the contract goes beyond the season, which I assume it would, they still have to have the same outs where they could move on from him free of penalty, really, because I think that's what makes his contract fine in a sense, that if they ultimately decide to move on from Garoppolo right now, there's not going to be that large of a penalty at all.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, my reasoning for Garoppolo should want to restructure is he has dead cap of 1.8 million next year, so he's probably not going to be on the team next year. Especially if they draft a guy, it'd be a 1 year deal, or essentially a 1 year deal for Garoppolo this year. If he restructures, he would get more guaranteed. He might get less money overall, but I think in the NFL, it's always better to get more guaranteed than more money overall, because you're going to be cut eventually, especially if you're Jimmy Garoppolo. Unless you win a Super Bowl, you're probably eventually going to be cut. Go get that. If he does want to be established in San Francisco and play here, he should go after that more guaranteed money and make this 2 year deal remaining into a 3 year deal instead of 27 with the potentially being cut next year. Make it 19 million and have it be 8 guaranteed instead and get that restructure going.
Yeah, I mean, I've made it clear I would be in favor of trading him, even cutting him. I want to get his money off the books. But if the Niners feel like, that's drastic, we can win with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's proven. Why ditch that to get some different quarterback who may not be as good? Fine. If you want to keep Jimmy Garoppolo, fine. But restructure his deal. Commit to him. Because this riding the fence thing is hurting the roster, I think. You're letting people leave that are better than Jimmy Garoppolo because you're paying Jimmy Garoppolo too much money. And when asked about it, like twice last year and this year, John Lynch was like, oh, yeah, we don't need to do that yet. We don't need to do that yet. I think you do. I think you really do. And if you keep them, fine, but you got to restructure that deal. And I think clearly the reason they don't want to do that is they don't like him that much and they want to be able to trade him or whatever. But I think by structuring the contract the way they have and not extending it, they tell the whole league they don't like him. And if they extended his deal, maybe they would create the impression that they do like him. And all of a sudden he would have some trade value. They're riding the fence. Everyone knows it. They're just telling everyone that they don't like their 7-2 offsuit in their poker hand. It's like they got no poker face. Maybe if they did the extension, people would think, all right, maybe the Niners actually like him, or maybe it's too far gone. But yeah, if they keep him, they need to give him that extension. Mm-hmm. One or the other. No more riding the fence. Big picture, are the Niners going to make the playoffs next season? Is this still a playoff team?
On 49ers Twitter, it's like there's this auto bid that the 49ers are automatically going to make the playoffs, which I'm completely not on board with right now. Yes, the potential is there, but there are so many unknowns at this point in time that you can't definitively say that the 49ers are going to make the playoffs. If you go through the positional groups, as far as where they rank within the division, they have the fourth best quarterback in the division. Running backs, they might have the best set of running backs. The Rams are right up there. Wide receivers around the division, there's a lot of very good wide receivers on each team. Tight end, you have George Kittle. The offensive line is in a similar boat as the other three teams where there's a lot of questions. Defensive line, how's Nick Bosa going to recover? Linebacker, you're set. The secondary, there's a lot of questions. There is just way too many unknowns right now to know whether or not the 49ers are going to make the playoffs next year. There's a lot of good building blocks, a lot of good cornerstones, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. But you can't say definitively right now. You just can't.
Yeah. You 100% cannot because, at this time last year, when we have all said that the 49ers should make the playoffs in 2020, and obviously that didn't happen. A lot of things definitely we lost Jack, but things changed and the 49ers didn't make the playoffs. How can you say any team really, just besides the Chiefs maybe and Tampa Bay, that you'd say, yes, they're going to make the playoffs? Green Bay, yes, they're going to make the playoffs. But the 49ers have uncertainty at quarterback. They have uncertainty on the offensive line. They have, 2 for sure starters, and one of them got blown up every single time a guy rushed off the edge. And then their defense, we don't know who's going to be on the edge opposite Nick Bosa. We don't know who's going to be alongside Jimmy Ward at safety, who's going to be at the cornerbacks. I think they will make the playoffs, but I'm not saying they're guaranteed. There's only 3-4 teams I would say are.
Yeah, that's fair. I think they're I still think they have a lot of talent on this roster. I do. And I think they have a relatively easy schedule outside of the division next year. But I think this is the toughest division in the league, certainly in the NFC. And even if the Niners on paper look like they could win 9 games with Jimmy Garoppolo, and 9 games could get you there with 7 teams making the playoffs instead of 6. But I don't know. I mean, do you really see the Niners finishing anything other than 4th in the NFC West next year?
Oh, yeah. I can definitely see a scenario where they don't finish 4th in the NFC West.
Okay.
Yeah. Just it's too early to assume that they're a playoff team. Once the draft rolls around, free agency rolls around, they can certainly, on paper, look like one of the best teams in the NFC. I don't think that is too far-fetched. But there's a lot of assuming. Whoever thinks the 49ers are a lock for the playoffs is doing a lot of assuming right now. You're assuming that Trent Williams is going to re-sign with the team. You're assuming that Nick Bosa is the same player he was prior to his second ACL tear. So I'm just going to pump the brakes, see how everything unfolds before I definitively say whether or not I think this team is a playoff team.
Jack, what do you think?
I think they have a chance to be a playoff team if their quarterback can stay healthy. I think the quarterback position is the biggest key for them. They would have been a playoff team this year if they had just gotten a little bit better play from the quarterback position. So I think they're going to have a chance. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do over the next 3 months. That'll really give us a better picture of where they're going to end up.
It's so early, but is it fair to say, well, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm going to say on February 19th, I see a 9-win team on paper. What do you guys think?
I need to look up their schedule.
Yeah, I can see it. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, they have the 4th place schedule. They're playing all the other last place teams like Randy touched on in the NFC. They're playing the AFC South this year, which may be tough. You're looking at a team without Deshaun Watson, potentially with the Texans.
Jacksonville, though.
Houston,
so Jacksonville. Yeah.
Right there. Yeah. The Colts will be tough. The Titans will be tough. It's a favorable schedule compared to this past year, definitely. And I think 9 wins right now, that seems pretty safe. It's pretty safe at this point in time, knowing the players that you do have on the roster, and that can really shift depending on who leaves or who they pick up over in the coming months.
I think you were saying how the 49ers are probably the 4th team in the division.
Yes.
I think I like them better than Arizona, but that's up for debate. And also, we don't really know what Seattle's going to look like next year. They're losing pieces. They don't have a ton of cap space. They're changing their offense back to not letting Russ cook. So who knows what's happening? Because who's going to be the running back?
They've had 2 philosophy changes in the last 12 months, right?
Yeah, and
it's amazing.
They're probably going to lose Chris Carson in free agency. Rashad Penny hasn't proved he's a first-round pick, even though he was. They're going to have to redo their running back rotation. They'll probably not resign Frank Gore. Yeah, I mean that would be
that would be crazy.
Dagger to the heart.
Yeah. With the extra game this year, it's going to be interesting too, because we look at it right now. We say, oh, they're going to be a 9-win team. But they got 17 games, so it's going to it's going to have to be 9 at least to get in there, because there's no 500 anymore, so it's going to be 9 or 10 wins to get in. I think.
Well, I think they're going to win 9.5 games in that case.
They're going to get a tie.
They're going to get a tie. MGM Production says Nick Bosa did an interview today, and he was very eager to return and be a leader. Do you think he can lead so early in his career like Fred Warner? If so, do you change your mind about trading him? Now, you guys don't want to trade him as much as I do, but I think this is definitely a legit question. So, do you think Nick Bosa can be a leader on this team, and why?
Yeah, I think he's already a leader on the team, just with his play and the energy that he brings. I think he fits right in with, I think him and Fred Warner both are very similar in what they bring to the table as far as their overall ability, and it's matched with the way that the guys want to follow them. So I think on the defensive side, they're pretty well set with leaders. It's the offensive side where they have more of an issue.
I think having him back, just leading by example, showing guys that you can get 9.5 sacks, 10 sacks, and showing that high number that Kerry Hyder was putting out last year, but was the only one that was putting up that number. That would just be huge for his leadership prospects of just leading by example. And I think that'd be big. I don't know him personally of what he can do motivational wise, but if you're getting 10 sacks, other guys kind of want to match you, I think, and maybe Eric Armstead can push his number up by just trying to keep up with what Bosa's doing, and obviously not keep up exactly, but
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
My finger slipped.
Something that just popped into my head right now is when we were talking about Frank Gore a couple of weeks ago, and I was an advocate that the 49ers should bring Frank Gore back. He could be a leader. And Grant, you brought up the point that it's hard to be a leader if you're not on the field. The best leaders are having an impact on the game. That is Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa inspires people with his play. He's a full effort guy, does not take plays off, leaves everything out on the field. And other players admire that. They see that. They try to replicate it. So I do believe that Bosa can be a leader early on in his career. And he was extremely young. He's younger than Javon Kinlaw. He's younger than Javon Kinlaw, even though he came into the league a year early. And to answer this last part of the question, do you change your mind about trading him? I only trade Nick Bosa if it's a player like Deshaun Watson, because I just view a franchise quarterback on a much higher level than an extremely good pass rusher. And Grant, I know you laid out like this 10-step trade scenario where you had Bosa. I don't know if I would do that for the second overall pick, but for a player like Deshaun Watson, I would absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great question. I do think I've been around Nick Bosa. I think he has a leader's temperament. He was talking like the leader of the team as a rookie. He has a very big perspective. He sees the whole game, not just the defensive line. And he calls it like it is. He's not one of these guys like Mike McGlinchey who's like, we're not that bad. Like he'll be like, he was the one guy after they lost to the Falcons in 2019 who said we were flat. That was unacceptable. Even Kyle Shanahan said they weren't flat. Bosa's like, no, it was unacceptable. We were flat. It's not how we play. Okay, this guy's a leader. No question about it. Almost more so than Fred Warner. Nick Bosa's confidence in when he speaks and when he evaluates the team is like nothing I've seen really from a young guy. I mean, I can't. It's remarkable. It's like Richard Sherman-esque. That's what it's like. It's like Richard Sherman-esque, just in a quieter voice. That being said, as Nick said, you can't lead from the training room. You just can't. And he was gone this year. He was gone his last year at Ohio State. That's why I would like to trade him, because I think he doesn't have durability. It's a trait he lacks. Unfortunately, I could be wrong. That's the pattern I see. And so the fact that he wants to be a leader, does that change my mind about trading him? No, it doesn't. But it underscores what a tremendous player you are trading and why Nick's saying only for Deshaun Watson. And I'm saying why actually the number 2 pick is a hell of a nice return as well. But it's like the highest of the high. He's considered maybe a top 5-3 player in the NFL when healthy. So it's got to be for some serious return. It's the best trade chip the Niners have, and it's nice to at least figure out what it's worth. We got a couple more questions real quick. Hold on. Not that one. Just a second.
I think Jack's frozen. Oh, he came back.
Isaac says, do you guys have any opinion on Israel Mukuamu? Had solid 2 seasons before struggling with groin injury this year. Potential 3rd, 4th round corner. Plus has good size. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of this guy.
Attaboy, Matt.
Well, just because I just do the PFN mocks. I don't know much about him. He's South Carolina, I'm pretty sure. So he's just the guy opposite JC Horn. So if you've watched JC Horn, then
is he number 7?
24 is what it says. I didn't know the number off the top of my head.
I was just guessing a number.
But I don't know much to say other than he's tall.
Have you guys seen that movie Dirty Work with Norm Macdonald from 1997? You ever see that movie?
No, never heard of it.
All right. I like Norm Macdonald. I thought he was funny. Isaac, you gave a very generous donation. I wish we could give you a better answer than I've never heard of him. So I owe you one. All right, Isaac, I owe you one. Hit me up in the future. I'll answer a question for free. There's one more, and it was from a guy named Chris. If Bosa stays healthy, I fully expect him to have a huge season. Yeah, me too. But do you expect him to stay healthy? That's the question.
I'm gonna say real quick on that one, because I had muted myself last time and I was going to jump in after. But the thing, if you want to go on Bosa and you want to talk about his history, he tore up his knee in high school, but then he came back and he played as a true freshman. He played his sophomore year. Sophomore year is really what got him drafted before he got hurt. And then he had the core injury, came back, had a great rookie season. So if we want to follow that, tore up his knee, he's going to come back and have a really good year this year. He's going to have a good year the following year. and then you trade him after that because that's when his rookie deal is going to be coming up anyway. You get him on
Fair
that
enough.
5th-year option and trade him like you did with
Buckner.
Buckner, yes.
Yeah. And that look, I would trade Bosa one way or another. And if you want to hold on to him for 2 more years and you think he's got 2 more elite seasons in him where he plays most of the year, then yeah, it would be bad to trade him now. I just feel like I don't know, scared that this knee injury was worse than the previous one, that he's going to be on a pitch count this year. I don't know. But I'm just always scared. I'm a worrier. It comes with being Jewish. It's genetic. So one more thing. People attack me on my YouTube channel because I recently said the Niners aren't an elite level team because they are too many issues. Nice to see you guys agree. Yeah, I think they're in the middle of a reload, not a rebuild. But I just see that it's a very tough position in this NFC West. And maybe it's smart to plan for 2022. I'm not saying tank 2021. But if they have to start a rookie next year, I'm not against it because I don't expect them to go to the Super Bowl anyway. That's basically what I'm saying. Is that too far? Like, I think they should be at least considering starting a rookie if they think he's more talented than Jimmy.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, they should be considering starting the best player, I think, regardless. So if they can get a quarterback they find better than Jimmy. But I would say just on that, think of the difference between the elite level teams and the teams that aren't. Like, I think the Chiefs, the Bills, the Buccaneers have that elite quarterback right now, and the 49ers have questions around it. So I think that's a big difference.
Yeah. One more from – oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The other thing on that is the 49ers have some elite talent, but the problem with their elite talent is that they get hurt.
Yeah.
So, that's – they have a – I wrote an article about this a while ago. They have a strong core, but that core gets injured too often for you really to be able to trust that.
Right. And so my elite plan is to turn Nick Bosa and George Kittle into basically 4 top 10 picks and rebuild the future of the team. Maybe it's impossible. It's never been done before. But that's my thought process. Like, yeah, they're the core of their team, and they're great, but they get hurt too much. It'd be nice to cash in on them before they have really given the injury-prone label and the value isn't there. Because right now, I think Kittle and Bosa are 2 of the most valuable players in the league in trades. I mean, honestly, if you offered Bosa and Kittle together for Deshaun Watson, I think you'd get pretty close. Pretty close.
Well, and that's an interesting thing of what you were saying with not rebuilding is retooling. And that's what the A's always called when they trade their players is they call it retooling. And they get their guys in, and it's supposed to be a 2-year window. And then they're back in the playoffs. Like they were in the playoffs 2012, 13, 14. And then they rebuilt. And then 2018, they were back in the playoffs. And that's kind of what you were saying with the Niners is that kind of route.
Brian's saying it's unfair to call Bosa injury prone because a lot of players got injured on that MetLife turf, and maybe that was just a fluke. Yeah, maybe. I just feel like at a certain point, the body just starts to go. Once you've had surgery 3 times, the 4th one's coming up. I don't know. Is that unfair? Maybe. I don't know. So he feels like an accident waiting to happen. Even in 2019, he had to play through an ankle injury for the first half of the season. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Just seems like
they missed all of training camp. They didn't play in the preseason.
I don't know. But with Jack, Jack makes a good point. If you feel like he's going to come back and play well, then you're giving up on him too early. And someone else is going to get the best years of his career, and you feel dumb. So, if you trade him, you better get a whole hell of a lot in return, put it that way.
And I have one thing to add on what you just said about Bosa and Kittle getting you close to being able to acquire Watson. That's where, personally, I give up a lot for Watson, but that's where I draw the line when you're giving up 2 of your 3 best players, and I consider that to be Kittle, Bosa, and Warner. And we just talked about how his team already lacks leadership, and Kittle and Bosa are the 2 that are leaders naturally, and their play on the field speaks for itself. So that's where you got to give up those first-round picks opposed. They absolutely have to. I wouldn't do it there, though.
No, I'm with you. I wouldn't trade Kittle and Bosa for 1 player. I wouldn't. Yeah. I would trade Kittle and Bosa for 4 players. I would as many players as possible. That's the way I would do it. But again, that's not going to happen unless Kyle Shanahan really starts following my advice. And he usually takes like little things, like give the ball to Juszczyk in the second quarter, not big things. So I don't know. All right, let's get back to our thing. Okay, can the Niners recreate their D-line dominance from 2019 when they had DeForest Buckner? Bosa's coming back. They might be able to keep Kerry Hyder. Eric Armstead might try next season. Javon Kinlaw could improve. Is it possible that they could recreate what they had even without Buckner?
I guess I'll start off on this one. I don't think that they're going to be as good as they were in 2019. And, in 2019, they had 48 sacks. They dropped off to 30 this year. I think they'll be somewhere in the middle of that. I don't see, I just don't see them being able to recreate that. I don't, D Ford played a big role in that, even though he only played sparingly. When he was on the field, the 49ers defense got a lot of those 48 sacks. And when he was off the field, those last, over the second half of the season at times, that's when they really dropped off. So, I understand that a lot of that had to do with Armstead being able to be kicked inside. I just don't see it. I don't see the interior pressure being what it was without Buckner in the middle, which, really as well helped to free up Armstead on those one-on-ones to get the sacks that he did. I just don't see him ever being a 10-sack guy again with the 49ers.
Yeah, I think they won't get to the 2019 level, but I think they can improve from the 2020 level, which by doing that, they have Bosa. I think you need 8 defensive linemen to do that. They have 6, in my opinion, with Bosa, Kinlaw, Armstead, Kevin Givens, Darian Daniels, and Contavious Street. And then you get 2 more. And ideally, it would be a rookie in the first 2 rounds or a Kerry Hyder type, and then another veteran free agent or another rookie. I think you need to add to that. I know Ojulari is a guy everyone loves, and I think they have to improve to 8 and be able to have Armstead on the inside and get an edge rusher alongside Kerry Hyder or another guy like that to improve. But they won't get to that 2019 level because DeForest Buckner is arguably the second best interior defensive lineman in the NFL. I think we would probably agree with that. And it's hard to compete with that.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough to replicate the 2019 pass rush. It was such a special unit where you had all different types of defensive linemen that complemented each other so well. Looking ahead to 2021, I don't think Kerry Hyder's the kind of guy that you look to bring in and fill that D Ford role. Right. Marcus Golden's a guy that I've been super high on for a long time. Hassan Reddick's coming off the best years of his career. I like Terrell Basham. That's another name to follow along to. So there's a lot of bargain buy edge rushers that you could look into. You definitely got to look to get more speed in the draft. I'm high on Jordan Willis and Deion Jordan. So there's a lot of potential with the unit. Going back to the interior, that's where the 49ers really excel with DeForest Buckner. I'm high on Kevin Givens too, but that 2019 unit was just so special. I don't see them getting back there in 2021. I think Maverick laid it out very well where they can improve it, take it up a notch or two in 2021 in comparison to 2020.
Yeah, I don't think the Niners are going to have a D-line as good as that for a very long time. What they would have to do to match that, Bosa would have to make a full recovery now. D Ford would have to make a full recovery now. Or they'd have to find a replacement for him, maybe sign a guy like Yannick Ngakoue. But that's not it. That's not enough because then Javon Kinlaw would have to start playing like DeForest Buckner. If all of those things happen, then yeah, they could do it. Otherwise, they won't. But the other side of that is they don't have to have the greatest defensive line of all time. Now that they have, theoretically, Jason Verrett or a good replacement for him, they can play more man coverage. They can generate pressure. They can rush 5, and they don't have to have an all-time, all-world defensive line. Also, one thing, the fact that they don't have to play Solomon Thomas anymore. That guy got way too many snaps the last few years. His backups were always better than him. So maybe the fact that there's actually a clear path for Kevin Givens to get on the field now, although Javon Kinlaw's blocking him. But some of these good backups could get on the field. It still should be an excellent defensive line. That 2019 was probably historic in Niner franchise history.
I have one thing to add real quick. I'm following along to the comment section, and people are asking if I meant to say Carlos Basham. He's a prospect.
Terrell.
Terrell Basham's the guy on the Jets that blew up Mike McGlinchey, and he had the best year of his career, only 3.5 sacks or so. But he's a bargain buy guy coming off the edge, and that's the 49ers need to pile
Mike
up.
McGlinchey isn't really much a market distinction.
Of course, but I'm just saying.
The thing about Basham,
49er fans will know who he is. Yeah.
If you go back and read the Peter King expose on the 2017 draft, Basham was someone the Niners wanted, and they got taken ahead of him. So he's all up in there. Read that. Good call. Last question and then trivia. Do the Niners need another Deebo Samuel type player? Obviously, because he gets hurt, and his role is so critical to the offense. What do you guys think? Another gadget guy?
Yes, absolutely. So this is my question. And Deebo Samuel plays such an important role on the 49ers offense. You've seen him this past year single-handedly practically single-handedly win games against the Rams. And when he's not in the lineup, they don't have that player that they can deploy all over the field, catch the ball behind the line of scrimmage. And a lot of people criticize the fact that the 49ers use Deebo Samuel behind the line of scrimmage as often as they did. I don't see the issue there. He picks up massive chunk yardage. If you go back to the 2019 season down the stretch, the game against the Rams, Saturday Night Football, the Sunday night game against the Seahawks, all throughout the playoffs, he was so dynamic as a ball carrier, receiving handoffs that the 49ers need to have a contingency plan in case he gets hurt. And you look around the NFL, the Chiefs using Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, all around the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage. That's the direction that the league is going in. It's okay to have these weapon receivers, and it's not a knock on them. So there's a couple names I'm going to throw out that the 49ers should consider signing to be that second Deebo Samuel and kind of spell him and allow Samuel to be used more traditionally as a wide receiver. You got Curtis Samuel. He's going to be pricey. I would love to see him in Kyle Shanahan's offense. He's definitely on the more expensive side of the spectrum. Cordell Patterson, play running back, play wide receiver, has special teams value. D.D. Westbrook's another name that I find interesting, but he has domestic violence history, which complicates a signing. But he has special teams value, has ran the ball out of the backfield before, good slot receiver. And then you got two guys in the draft, the Felton kid from UCLA and then Tony from Florida.
Tony,
those
for
are
sure.
guys that could be in the second round range that the 49ers should definitely look into because Samuel serves such an important role on the offense. And again, we've seen him win games and really contribute in that jet sweep motion in big, big games. If he gets that ball more in that fashion in the Super Bowl, who knows what happens? But Kyle Shanahan went away from it. So yes, they absolutely need to find a second gadget Deebo Samuel type player.
Ideally, yes, they get a second Deebo Samuel guy, just given his injury history. He's not a guarantee to give you 16 games. No one is, but he's not a guarantee, and he might get injured, and that kind of hurts your offense. As we saw, was it the Washington game? He got hurt the first play, and then the offense kind of was lost after that. But I think you can't spend on Curtis Samuel. As Nick was saying, he's going to be pricey, and the Niners have needs elsewhere. They have to address left tackle. They have to address center. They have to address cornerback, defensive line, and that leaves Curtis Samuel out. And there's teams like Jacksonville where he fits in that Ohio State system, and he can go there and be what he was in college. So Samuel's out. And then I also think Kadarius Toney doesn't really match up because they can't pick him with that first pick. They might need it. If they wanted to take him, they'd either have to trade back twice or trade up at that second round pick and give up other draft picks to go get him. And I think there's other teams that want him. I like Jamal Agnew, but he would be a good kick returner. And my guy is Isaiah McKenzie, who's opposite of Deebo Samuel. He's under 5'10", but he adds the speed element. He's a good deep ball receiver. He also takes reverses and drags behind the backfield. He did that with Buffalo against the 49ers. If you recall, he motioned out, and then I think it was a Kelly Witherspoon or someone that was chasing him down, and he caught that touchdown in the back left. And that's a guy I would get. You could probably get him for under $2 million. He runs under 4.40, and he'd be excellent. And he's a great punt returner.
Yeah, I don't think they necessarily need another Deebo type of guy, just because I think, when you look back, they're pretty good without it. I think back is if it's Garoppolo, then it might become a little bit more of a need. If it's some of these other guys, not necessarily, because the offense can run without that type of a player. But let's say they do. I really do like one of the names that Nick threw out with Cordero Patterson.
Yeah,
because he can do all that kind of stuff. He's been used as a running back at times out of the backfield. He can run all the jet sweeps and all those kind of things. And on top of that, he gives you a guy that can actually return the ball past the 25-yard line. I mean, when was the last time we saw a 49er be able to do that? So that would be a nice pickup if they could get him, for $4 million, maybe $3 million.
Yeah, I'm on the Cordero Patterson train. I love that. I do think they need a Deebo Samuel type player because as long as Jimmy Garoppolo is on the offense, the Jimmy Gimmies are going to have to be an integral part of what they do, and Deebo makes them work. Like no one I've ever seen except for kind of Cordero Patterson. Patterson is similar in the sense that's another guy who is a wide receiver built like a running back, and he can do a lot of the same stuff, not as well as Deebo, but pretty well. And he doesn't have injury history. He plays every game. He's been stuck on the Bears the last 2 years. And I think that Matt Nagy is one of the least creative offensive gurus in the league. Give Kyle Shanahan, Cordell Patterson, and if for nothing else, for special teams. As Jack pointed out, the guy can return it past the 25. He averages 29.8 yards per return for his career. Last year it was 29.1. Last year he returned. He had 1,017 kickoff return yards. Like for no other reason, bring him back for that. He's a weapon. I love that guy, and I think Kyle Shanahan. Yes, good idea. Whoever brought him up. All right, it's trivia time. Trivia time.
Let me get my screen situated.
All right. Here, why don't we switch?
Okay, so the three categories, just for a refresher, are first one is that guy. So it's just a that guy, a random that guy. That was a suggestion on Twitter.
Oh, hold on.
But first, I want to start off with Grant starts off with -5 points for tweeting earlier that Kellen Mond is a better QB prospect than Marcus Mariota. And I believe his reasoning is because Kellen Mond didn't have anyone to throw to. And if you recall who Mariota was throwing to, he was throwing to an Olympic sprinter and then 3 blocking tight ends and then a bunch of guys that got dropped.
I'm not going to argue. I don't want any more points taken off. You're right.
So yeah.
Right.
So I'm just saying.
Okay. All right.
Don't talk bad about Mariota.
I'm still going to win. I don't care.
So you don't really get -5. I'm just putting you on notice that no more mentioning.
Next time. All right. Fair. That's fair.
But okay. So that guy, it's just, you have to name who that guy is. Okay. So first question, the 2018 49ers set the record for least interceptions in a season. Who was the guy that had a pick 6?
Oh, Exum.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Oh, nice. All right, nice.
Against the Chargers, and they still lost that game, but Exum was the guy that had the pick 6.
I was actually at that game. It was my first 49er road game. Me and my cousin bought tickets to go down. That's when the Chargers are playing in the soccer stadium in Carson, and Garoppolo got hurt the week before, completely off the energy going into that game. But that's how I remembered Exum. It was like on the first play of the game, or it was on a third down.
Like, the Niners might win this one.
Yeah, sure.
But then Gary Gilliam pulled a Mike Mckenzie at the very end. It was terrible.
Yeah, Gary Gilliam, throwback. He was almost a question. I did not include him, though.
He was a question last week.
Yeah, he's one of those guys I always like to include.
He's always lingering, yeah.
Raheem Mostert, Matt Breida, Trent Taylor, and Ronald Blair III all had kick returns in 2017. I assume Blair was on a squib kick.
Did Contavious Street have one?
He wasn't in the stats, but none were the actual kick returner. Who was the kick returner in 2017?
Oh.
Who was that guy?
Oh, man. I should know this. Come on, give me a sec.
Aldrick Robinson.
Okay, Grant has a guess.
Okay,
that's
Grant's
a great
wrong.
guess.
Okay, Grant is wrong. Okay.
Sports Fanatic in the comments. Remember, don't look at the comments unless you're going to use a phone a friend.
I'm on private chat. I can't see the comment section. Ooh.
I don't like the phone a friend thing. It's
okay,
the person who guesses last gets. Yeah, I don't like that.
We'll ban it.
Yeah.
Matt, could you repeat the 5 guys that had kick returns that weren't the kick returners?
Mostert, Matt Breida, Trent Taylor, and Ronald Blair III all had at least a kick return in 2017, but none were the actual kick returner. Who was that guy?
2017.
So before Richie James.
Alfred Morris.
No way. Oh man, this is a great question, Maverick.
Did you say Trent Taylor already on the names you listed?
Yes, Trent Taylor is in the one of the 4.
No.
Okay.
Oh. No. Oh.
Oh, I think no one gets this point.
Okay, yeah, no one. It was Victor Bolden.
Oh,
wow.
19 kick returns.
I would
That's
never.
right.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I should have had that. Did anyone get it in the comment section?
Yeah, a couple people got it in the comments.
Nice. They get points.
Props to them, yeah.
They're on.
Yeah, so comments are beating you. Frank Gore led the 2011 49ers with 8 rushing touchdowns, and Alex Smith tied with 2 others for second with 2. Who were the other 2?
Anthony Dixon.
That's 1.
Is that a tie though? Like a half point each?
Kendall Hunter.
Grant gets the point because he got both.
Okay.
It wasn't
Fair
Bruce
enough.
Miller.
Yeah, so Kendall Hunter, Anthony Dixon, and Alex Smith had 2, and then Frank Gore had 8.
Anthony Dixon was like the short yardage back on that team. He had, like,
Yeah.
He gave the momentum when he would come in.
I love that guy.
The 49ers had just 2 players start 16 games in both 2006 and 2007. Both were defensive linemen. Bryant Young was one. Who was the other guy?
Justin Smith.
Oh, I don't think he was on the team in 2006.
Yeah, I don't, 2006 and 2007 defensive line. Oh man, I love this question too. You're on
The
fire.
guy I'm
today with
thinking
these
about, I
questions.
think, was outside linebacker, though. Okay, so hold on. Say it again. 2006, 2007. Played every game.
Started all 16 games in both 06 and 07. Both were linemen. One was Bryant Young. What was the other one?
Bryant Young, huh? I see. And then they signed Justin Smith after him.
Oh.
I don't think you're going to get this guy.
Oh, really? Oh, so it's someone who's okay. Manny Lawson was an outside linebacker. I don't know.
Well,
if
this
he
was
started-
according to Pro Football Reference, what position they list them at. So I believe he was an interior defensive lineman in the 3-4 system, but I don't know if they kind of mess around. It's not Manny Lawson, so don't guess that.
It's,
but
I have 2 guesses. I have 2 guesses.
Try one.
I don't know if it's too soon though. It doesn't sound right. No, I want to hold off. Jack, do you have a guess?
He already guessed.
Oh,
I guess
okay.
I was wrong. Yeah.
I think.
Yusuf in the comments got it.
I think it's Isaac Sopoaga.
Okay. That's incorrect.
Okay, thank you. That saved one of my guesses. I think Abreu Franklin came after.
That's a good guess as well. That's incorrect.
Yeah.
But Yusuf got in the comments. Marquise Douglas.
I don't even remember him.
Oh, wow.
I
That was
think
in LA.
3 seasons he played. He didn't miss a game, and that's rare with the current Niners.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
From
the Jets.
If you're curious, in 06, they only had a couple guys play all 16: Alex Smith, Frank Gore, Kwame Harris, Justin Smiley, Bryant Young, and Marquise Douglas. And then 07, Larry Allen, Eric Heitman, Michael Lewis, Mark Roman, Joe Staley, Patrick Willis, Bryant Young, and Marquise Douglas again. Okay, final question of that. The 2008 49ers secondary was made up of 4 veterans they did not draft. Michael Lewis and Mark Roman were the safeties. 2 corners combined to start 31 games. Who were those?
Harris.
Walt Harris is one. Who were those 2 guys?
They combined to start 31 games.
Yeah, and 2
Walt
seasons.
Harris is one. Dang.
This is 2007, 2008.
It's Nick's Jersey guy, Nate Clements.
Nate Clements is correct.
What? Wait, they combined between Walt Harris and Nate Clements to start 31 games.
In 2008. Walt
All right,
Harris
so
started
Jack
16
gets
games.
a half. I get a half.
Oh, I thought you meant like in the career. I missed that.
Oh, no.
Nah,
Oh,
bud.
Walt Harris,
I would have gone Nate Clements. I was Jersey in the closet.
Yeah.
Walt Harris started 16 and Nate Clements started 15.
Good call on Clements.
Can I get a point for their
No, you
numbers?
don't get
If I-
nothing.
if I win their numbers?
You got 1 point. Jack has a half.
All
I
right.
have 1.5.
Was Walt Harris number 27 though?
I'll look
You're
it
trying
up.
to get partial credit. Is this
Yeah, I
what you
think you
did
were.
when you
I get-
got a bad grade in school? You did. Come on, man. Let me
Walt
get
Harris.
partial credit.
Okay, so the next
27. He was 27. I don't think.
So he knew.
You're right.
The next one, I think there's a couple easy ones, and then it gets harder. So
Okay.
it's where did he go to college?
Okay, cool.
Is the
Ooh.
next category.
Grant's gonna have a good. I think.
This one, wait till I finish the question because you're all going to be screaming it. Wait till I finish the question to answer.
All right.
What college did Colin Kaepernick attend?
Nevada.
Yeah.
I guess it's a tie.
I'm taking my half point. I need him.
Okay. Okay.
No.
The next one, Jack. I'm sure if you've watched, you know this guy reoccurs every week in trivia. What college did John Theus attend?
Georgia.
Oh!
That's
He's got
correct.
it. That's right.
Jack-
That is right.
Jack got it.
That is
Wow.
right.
That's
It was
my
Carolina school, right? Where was
trivia
it?
guy.
We don't know how to pronounce his name, but we know where he went to college.
It's
Yeah.
this.
Hey, I bet you if he we talk about him every single week. Like we got a message
Again?
Yeah, honestly, I'm now trying to include him in every single trivia. I'm running out of facts about him, but if he
How
has
many-
more facts,
Did
I
he play in
can
like 3
include.
games?
Yeah, he had 1 start. So,
Woo.
but he's
Wait,
going to
what
be
was the
involved
school?
every single trivia.
I missed the school.
Georgia. The 49ers replaced center David Bass with Jonathan Goodwin in 2011. What college did both go to?
Michigan.
Oh, that's right.
That's correct. And that's why I didn't want to include myself on the Jonathan Goodwin talk earlier, because I was just like, oh, I can't give anything away in my future trivia. But yeah, Jonathan Goodwin out of Michigan in 2002 and David Bass 2005. Yeah, they're all Michigan men.
Harbaugh was so excited. Until it was Braylon Edwards, he was like, no.
Yeah,
Braylon Edwards.
The 49ers have started 6 players from Oregon since 2010. Name them. So 6 players that have started it.
Hold on. Can we make this orderly?
Yeah, we're going to go in order. We're going to start with Jack, and then we're going to go in order.
Yeah, Jack gets first crack because he has the least amount of points. You get second crack, and I get third crack because I'm winning. It's 1.5 to 2.5 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 offensive, 6.
So they have 6 players that have from Oregon that have started a game since 2010.
Since 2010, okay.
So Jack, give me one.
LaMichael James.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
DeForest Buckner.
That is a correct answer.
Yes.
Eric Armstead.
Eric Armstead is a correct answer. Do we go back to Jack, or are we go? Are you?
No, yeah, Jack can go. Okay. Jack can go.
No, just roll past me. I don't have it.
Yeah, I think I'm out too.
Oh,
really?
Come on,
you're out already?
There's a couple more from this season.
Oh, thank you for that. You have to give us that little tidbit there.
You're right.
From this season.
I got it. When you're wrong, I'm next.
Mm-hmm. You said it's from this season. Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Is that all you needed to know? I'll give you 5 seconds.
Whoa. Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
you know,
yep.
Deion Jordan.
Deion Jordan is one, yes.
Okay.
Nice.
There's 2 from the Harbaugh era, and then the last one played this year.
He started this year?
Yes, they started games this year. A lot of people in the comments are beating you guys.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank right now. Nope.
Dang, I got Deion Jordan though.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Nick, you folding?
Right. Nick's folding.
I'm not. Whoa.
You get it's 52:23 on the timer. You get till 52:40 to answer.
Oh, okay. No, that's not right either.
Jeremiah Masoli. He was in training camp 2011. He was there.
Mm-hmm. He was the man. Okay,
okay,
you're out. Hronis Grasu started this year.
Oh, jeez.
And Adam Snyder and Justin Peele got some starts in there.
Oh, I didn't know that about Justin Peele.
I didn't either. I didn't know he got starts, but he apparently did.
Dang.
All right, I'll split those ones with Nick since I got 2 and he got 1. I'll give him half. I'll take half because I'm generous.
Yeah, you're a generous guy.
I'm a generous.
Wait, can we go? What's the score right now? I have 2 full points.
You have 2. I have 3.5. Jack has 1.5.
3.5.
So I'll stop winning. I'm sorry. I'm just too good. I don't know.
Okay. 6 49ers started games last year that went to a school with South in the name. Who are they?
All right. I like that.
6.
Okay. So he went first. Kinlaw
6
works.
49ers started games last year that went to a school with South in the name.
Kinlaw's 1. Jack, you're up. I mean, Nick, you're up.
Debo Samuel.
That's 2.
Damn it. Oh no.
That's the 2 South Carolina guys. So take that out of your mind.
Hold on. Oh no, it's Georgia Southern. Damn it.
Has South in the name.
Oh, Jarek McKinnon. There you go.
Yeah. Yes.
Jarek McKinnon. It's Georgia Southern. Doesn't count.
Wasn't it Jack's turn?
No, it's my turn.
Jack didn't get to go, did he?
I got the first one.
Oh, you answered the first one.
So
Okay.
it's Jack's turn if he wants it. You can it can be like poker, like I check.
Yeah, I'll check on the tonight.
I'll check.
Yeah, so you have the 3. There's 3 more.
Yes.
I got one.
Say it.
Was my turn?
Yeah, say it.
Nick Mullins.
Nick Bolden's correct.
I can't.
snap.
Also works if you go with Southern Miss.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Oh,
All right. And Jack, if you want to jump back in at any point and you can think of one, you can, because I'm about to tap out. Let me think.
I need this point.
Eastern Washington.
Yusuf again in the comments got the hardest one. That's impressive.
Middle Tennessee. Oh, wait. North. No.
Ooh,
Northern.
ooh.
Go for it. If you got it, you can win it. You can take it.
This could be completely out. Did Jeff Wilson go to Texas Southern?
No.
I believe he went to North Texas.
No.
Ah,
Okay, so no more guesses for you, but you got 2, so you're in the position to win.
yeah.
I don't think I got it.
I'm gonna start making up schools.
I'm out.
Right now.
You're
What is
out.
it? Yeah.
You're out. Okay, so the last 2 are Tarvarius Moore. Went to
Nope,
Southern
yep.
Miss,
Oh, Southern
of
Miss
course.
too.
And-
oh, come on.
Tom Compton went to South Dakota.
I had no
Tom
idea. My Tom Compton facts.
I didn't know Tom Compton went to South Dakota until I was making this question, but I learned
T.
something.
Moore. That was right there. Come on, Grant.
Yeah, I
I
thought
got
you guys would get Tarvarius Moore, but
Do we split that again, Grant?
Nah, you take. Yeah, I guess we do, because it's like the inverse of what we just did last. So yeah, okay, sure.
So
Do I
3.
get any points for getting one right?
Yeah, well, why don't you give you some points too? Everyone gets points in that one.
I already get points.
I like that.
We're all
That's fair.
participation trophies.
That's fair. Hell yeah.
Um,
Millennial friendly over here.
okay. So the next one, who was the next pick? That's
Yes.
the last category before final,
Oh
Okay.
man,
All right.
I had a.
and I believe it is all from 2000 to 2005 players, draft picks at least.
This
So
is interesting.
the 49ers took Julian Peterson, 16th overall in the 2000 draft. What Florida State player was picked next?
Which draft?
The 2000 draft.
Okay.
This is an iconic pick.
Can I try? Can
Yes.
I try? Chris Winkie.
Good guess, but incorrect.
Anquan Bolden.
No, I know who it is. No.
Good guess, incorrect.
No, I know who it is. Damn it.
I'm checking.
Can
Nothing?
I say it? Can I say it?
Yeah, you can say it.
Seabass.
It is Seabass. Sebastian
Seabass.
Janikowski, 17th
Ooh.
overall.
Oh, that was legendary. I remember when it happened. It wasn't the second round pick Shane Leckler.
I don't know off the top of my head. I was 4 when
Hal
that happened,
Davis
but,
did
Yeah.
not care.
I think he was.
Wow. And those
It-
picks were decent. I mean, they were both Hall of Fame specialists. Anyway.
Yeah. Wishnowski.
So no
to
points
get
for
there one
anyone. No
day.
points
Yeah.
that. No points.
Okay, yeah.
I blurted out the wrong answer.
2003, the 49ers took tackle Kwame Harris in his 27 career false starts, 26th overall. What All-Pro and Penn State product with 6,223 career rushing yards was the next pick?
Larry Johnson.
Oh,
That's correct.
One.
In that same draft, this is question 3. In that same draft, 2003, Brandon Lloyd was picked 124th overall. What Pittsburgh DB and 2-time Super Bowl champion was picked next?
University of Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh Steelers?
Steelers,
Oh.
2-time Super Bowl champion.
Oh. Snap.
William Gay.
William Gay is a good guess, but that is incorrect.
I'm not gonna get this one. What's that guy's name? They used to. Oh,
Who's a DB?
who's that guy's name? Who was
DB?
DB on the Steelers?
Ben Meyerson in the comments has it.
Ike Taylor.
Oh, that's who I was gonna say.
Ike Taylor's correct.
Nice.
Oh,
That is the right answer. His name was escape. That's good. Good one, Jack. Good one. That's a big point right there.
In the
Taylor.
2005, the 49ers took Alex Smith first and Frank Gore 65th. So name the second overall pick, the pick after Alex Smith, and then name the 66th pick by the Rams, who is also a son-in-law of Mike Singletary.
Was the second pick? Was it David Bass?
No, I mean the second overall
the
pick in
draft.
the draft.
But
No, that doesn't count.
Yeah, that doesn't count. So the second pick, so Alex Smith was first. Who was the player picked after Alex Smith? And then who's the player picked after Frank Gore, who's also
I
a
know the
son-in-law
Rams
of Mike
guy.
Singletary.
The Rams guy was he's a safety or a DB, and he had some funny name that I. Oh, man, damn it! I remember that guy, but I don't get credit for that. Saying he has a funny name, that's neither.
My 10-year-old memory's failing me right now.
Oh man, but yeah, okay. So who was the number 2 pick in the 2005 draft?
Yeah, if you guys want hints on those players,
Oh,
I can give hints.
it was a running back, I think.
Ronnie
Was it
Brown.
not? It was
Ronnie Brown is correct. Jack Hammer.
Nice, Jack.
Answer.
Nice, Jack. And was number 3 Cadillac Williams?
He was in that top 5 too, I believe.
Yeah, he was. Same school.
So,
Yep. I remember people were freaking out because like Cadillac Williams was a starter at Auburn and Ronnie Brown's was I was like, oh my God.
But Ronnie
Crazy how
Brown,
much-
Wildcat, man.
Crazy how much the league has changed since 2005. Ronnie Brown going number 2. It would never happen. Ever. All right,
Okay.
Good one, Jack.
And anyone
Jack
have a
now has
guess
4
for the
points.
state team?
Hold on. Jack has 4. Nick has 3.5. Nick, you better step your stuff up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5. I'm great. But everyone, you guys are neck and neck.
you're at 0 because Matt already knocked you 5 points. So
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. I'm at 0. That's fine. I might be able to make it up at Final Jeopardy. You never know. right.
Okay, so can anyone have a guess for who this second round guy was, or 66 overall guy was?
1 pick. He was a DB for the Rams. He had a special name, and I forget what it was. Remind me. There's a lot of syllables in there.
Oh, wait,
OJ was his first.
David Archuleta?
No, OJ.
David Archuleta was on American Idol, I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
But
Oh,
Adam
what was
Archuleta.
Adam
OJ
Archuleta.
What's this guy's
Adam
name?
Archuleta.
Adam Archuleta is also incorrect. But Grant, what are you saying?
Was it OJ? I don't even want to say it because it's wrong. What is this dude's name?
OJ Atogwe.
Atogwe. Correct. That's the one.
Yeah.
I remember him. He was a good player.
Yeah,
He's a good
he was
player.
I remember he was the son-in-law of Mike Singletary, and when the Niners had
What
to
are you guys
visit
laughing about?
to get in the playoffs or
Archuleta.
whatever. Remember whatever year that was, where it was Rams, Niners, and if the Niners lost, they were eliminated. I remember them
Yes.
talking about that. But okay, this is the last question before final. The 49ers took Patrick Estes, 248th overall,
Hold on, real quick. Where did OJ Atogwe go to college? Bonus.
Georgia, Texas.
Stanford.
I didn't. Oh, I read that yesterday too.
Stanford.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. I cheated.
So the 49ers took Patrick Estes, 248th overall, and Billy Bajama, 249th overall with their back-to-back 7th round picks in 2005.
Who could forget?
What 2020 free agent quarterback was picked next?
Oh, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is correct.
Yeah.
50th overall.
I have 1 point now. 1 point. Let's go. Back in the game.
Okay, final question. Final Jeopardy.
Okay. Final Jeopardy.
And there's potential for bonus points if we're tied at the end.
Okay.
San Francisco has drafted 10 players with at least 10 sacks as a 49er since 2005.
Say it again.
San Francisco has drafted 10 players with
Who have recorded
10
at least 10 sacks in the
as a
NFL since then.
49er. So
As a 49er.
yeah, as a
Okay.
49er.
Okay.
So if they
10.
had 8 with the Niners
10
and
with
went-
10 since 05?
what?
10 with 10 since 05?
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, so we're then name them.
All right. Well, how are we going to do this?
You go first, Nick, because you're losing. And then everyone goes.
Oh,
And then Jack goes after me. And then
All right.
no, Jack goes and then I go after.
I learned my lesson last time. I have to save the smaller known commodities for the end. Alden Smith.
Yeah.
Alden Smith is correct.
Playoffs don't count, right?
I did not include playoffs.
Okay.
No, that's good to know. That's very good to know.
Eric Armstead's number 2.
Eric Armstead is on there, yes.
Okay. DeForest Buckner.
He is on there, yes.
Now I have to tap into my
The ace
Ronald
up your
Blair.
sleeve. Okay.
Who'd you say? Sorry.
Ronald Blair.
Ronald Blair is correct. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. Since drafted in 2005 or later.
Oh,
For
we
people-
in 2010.
2005 or later.
05 or later.
And they had 10 career sacks. That's what you're saying.
With the
At
Niners.
least,
At least 10. Yeah.
10 career sacks with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Okay, Isaac's. Oh, my turn. Isaac's
Nick.
Oklaga.
Nick is not your turn. But if you want to give the answers to Jack, that's fine.
Nick, if Nick's, I wouldn't copy that answer.
No, it is.
But
No, it's Jack's turn. It's Jack's. Yeah, don't. It's wrong. That's wrong.
Manny Lawson.
Manny Lawson is correct. 14 and a half.
All right. Okay. I mean, they got Ahmad Brooks in the supplemental draft. He counts, right?
He is not included on my list because I did buy the actual draft.
Okay.
Ahmed
But
Brooks
I'm not out. I'm not out though. Can I do another one?
Ahmed Brooks started with the Bengals, if I remember correctly.
Was he not in the supplemental draft at the Niners?
No, I remember him being on the Bengals before.
I guess I'm out.
But I'm not including the supplemental draft if he was. So
all right. Well, let me just say Aaron Lynch.
Aaron Lynch is correct.
Wow, that's a good one.
Sorry about that. I should have just said Aaron Lynch. My bad.
Back to Isaac. Isaac Sopoaga didn't accumulate 10 sacks.
I do not have him as having 10 sacks. No.
Wow,
no, dude, he probably had like 3 sacks, 3.5.
He could throw the football further than anyone in the world, though.
It's
he
true.
was on the interior defensive line for so many years.
Not filibustering. Who's your pick?
I
got one right now.
Paris Harrelson.
Yep.
That is correct.
It's a good one.
So Isaac Sopoaga had 7.5 in his career with the Niners.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Ray McDonald.
Oh no, you didn't.
That is correct.
That was
That's a
my
nice
guy.
one.
Damn it. It's only 2 more.
Damn it. Ray McDonald was my one. I'm gonna lose. Damn. Give me 20 seconds to think about this because you stole it. You stole it from me. That was a hell of a pick.
Maverick, how many have we named so far?
There's 2 more.
Oh, snap. Say it again. Hold on.
There's 2 more. So there have been Manny Lawson, Paris Harrelson.
But again,
Ray
it's 10
McDonald.
sacks with the Niners. 10 sacks, at least 10.
Yes. Alden
Okay.
Smith, Aaron Lynch.
Okay, I'm going off the top rope
Blair.
with this one. I got to guess, and I think I got it. I think I'm right. Navarro Bowman.
That is correct.
Yes.
That's
Okay,
Patrick
so
Willis.
hold it. Let's stop right now. We're at 9. We
said
should
it.
have a way to win this. Because
Well, I have
now,
a win if you tie.
finals. We should have to write it down and show it at the same time.
Well, if you want, I can expand it. There's 3. If you expand it to 2,000, I have 3 more guys, and that's the tiebreaker I have. If you all get it.
Okay. But we all.
Okay.
Okay.
Nick just gave it away.
Yeah.
Well, Nick got it.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Willis. All right.
I'll give you a chance to rebuttal with the 3 guys
Okay.
if you want. So 2000 to 2005, there's
Okay.
3 more that they drafted that had at least 10 with the Niners.
Okay. But it's not your turn because you just blurted out like for the
Last
8th time. So Jack, it's your turn.
2000.
I got a couple good names.
I'm gonna mute you.
I was like 5 in 2000.
Jack's going to win just because Grant had -5 and Nick's going to get -5 also for blurting.
It's not the kid out of Cal, huh?
You sure?
Oh, but
It might be the kid out of Cal.
But does he know his name?
Yes, huh? Andre Carter.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, my
Julian
turn.
Peterson.
Oh my God! Dude, are you kidding me?
Who'd he say? I didn't hear.
He did it again. Who'd
he say?
Blurted out Julian Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nick, you're banned. Grant, you want to guess the last one, or do you have no guess?
My God.
You're not gonna get this guy. If you didn't,
You're like the dude in American Pie. Like again. All right.
I lost track of the order. I thought I went after Jack.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
He said you went last because you blurted it out, and then you went second.
Julian Peterson. Nice. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me.
John Engelberger.
Oh, that's right. Vatek.
That's karma. I was literally going to say John Engelberger. I swear on everything.
All right. Well, Jack wins.
Yeah. Both of you guys are banned for.
For just flagrant disregard of the rules. Flagrant.
I'm not fronting. I'm not lying. I was going to say John Engelberger. I swear on it. And that's what happens when that's karma. I didn't get
Nick Newman is the king of. I was just about to say that. That is my impression of Nick. I was just about to say that.
No, I'm dead serious. I really was.
Well, that was
I
fun,
really
man.
did.
Maverick, thanks as always for putting
Yeah.
the questions together. Jack, you killed it. Nick, how dare you?
Oh, man.
Have some respect for the game. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back next week with more trivia. This was cool.